Hello, this is Doré. There were a lot of pretty funny comments this time. I had a good laugh reading them after a while. The answer is Robert Garcia. He has great individual skills, but it's unfortunate he's rarely seen due to being overshadowed by Ichigoku. Before I review the character, let me quickly advertise. Thanks to all of you, I've received another advertisement. Before introducing the company I'm advertising, let me tell you about the 670,000 won in support funds you could be missing. This is money anyone can receive if they use a water purifier or just the internet at home. In most households, even after the contract for the internet or water purifier ends, people just keep using it. But these actions have made you miss the 670,000 won you should get every 3 years. When your internet or water purifier contract ends, you can receive the full support payment just by making a single phone call to renew or change your contract. This is Yoonji Woo, only the crying child gets the rice cake. Some may think I'm just trying to sell something, but that's not true. You deserve this cash support as the Korea Communications Commission's combined promotion system requires internet television providers to pay 470,000 won even with a low-rate water purifier. You can get over 200,000 won. In other words, this is support money that we are rightfully entitled to receive. Of course, you can't just sign up anywhere. It's only possible at online agencies that don't have to pay for labor costs or rent. Since installation and after-sales service are identical to the main company, online agencies offering the most gifts are clearly the best option. I recommend Ajongdang Communication Rental, a trustworthy company that provides maximum support following official standards. This agency boldly displays the faces of its staff on its main page, and its neighbor cafe has over 200,000 members. Every year, 40,000 people sign up for internet or rental services through this company and receive generous support funds. These days, there are a lot of sales calls from internet companies, and there are many flyers from nearby agencies, so some people feel uneasy and go straight to the head office. Ajongdang has absolutely no such scams, and instead of hard-to-use gifts, they always give cash. Also, it's a clean place where they never try to push expensive plans or home appliance rentals on you. The reason many companies push expensive plans is because of the consultant's performance goals, but at Ajongdang, even if you choose an expensive plan or home appliance, it doesn't affect the consultant's performance. That's why they only recommend what you really need. They activate your phone with the lowest plan but give you the most benefits, so keep that in mind. Consultations are available 365 days a year, even on Sundays, from 8 AM to 10 PM, so busy people can just call at their convenience without having to set aside extra time. Also, on the official Ajongdang YouTube channel, they upload useful information every day and try to communicate with customers. For those who watch this video just by subscribing, there's a subscriber event where you can win the latest smartphone worth about 1 million won every month, so I recommend you give it a try. Robert's Standing A has the same motion and performance whether it's at long range or close range. The activation is decent, and for a light attack its hitbox is pretty good. Throwing it out occasionally can counter the opponent's preemptive moves. Its decent reach lets you pressure and sometimes catch the opponent off guard when used between actions. This is Robert's Far B. You can't cancel it and you don't get much advantage on hit, but actually it's a hidden gem among basic moves. It has the advantage of being able to cut off opponents who slide in like Chris. If your opponent slides often, throwing this out once in a while will make the Chris's love it. If your opponent is smart, they'll delay their slide and use a jump attack to punish you, but Chizuru's sliding can't be punished this way. This is Robert's Close B. Even though it doesn't look like it, its startup frames are extremely fast. It has the same specs as his Crouching B, so it really surprises the opponent. Even though he's standing and attacking, it still counts as a low hit. Additionally, the cancel timing is pretty generous. As long as it's not a move that uses meter, you can combo into any move. It's especially compatible with the command grab move I'm about to show you. This is Robert's Far C. Honestly, compared to other long-range normals, its hitbox is pretty lacking, so there's really no reason to use it in long-range poking battles. However, it's fantastic for catching delays thanks to its fast startup and long reach. For example, if you see your opponent trying to trade moves, you can just throw out a mindless C and hit them. This is his close C, which has insane performance. For a stand-type character, its startup is just a bit slow, but it's used when you want to hit the hardest in combos. Basically, every move can be cancelled and linked from it. Additionally, if Yori sets this up before using Seal Pung, its long active frames help with defense. Active frames. It's a zoning tool that's top tier for long-range D. Although there's no hitbox at the tip of the shoe, the hurtbox is still quite small. With most basic moves, Robert rarely loses. Even Yashiro's Far B, which is excellent in both priority and startup, can't compete with Robert's D, can it? This is Robert's close D, which is notoriously useless everywhere, but surprisingly, its startup frames actually look pretty good. It's just an illusion because you can't see it. First of all, even compared to Rugel's notoriously slow close C, its startup is slower. Even though I'm pressing them at the same time, it's getting completely beaten. And even though it's a close heavy normal, it can't be cancelled. It's a basic move that's slow and can't be cancelled, so it's really useless. You'll end up using crouching a more often. Just think of it as a very standard normal move. It can be used for combos, but there's no specific reason to choose this one. From crouching B, Abe's special move doesn't activate, so after connecting with crouching A, you use the special move. If used as a cancel, the overhead property is lost, so you need to use it more slowly. You must trust your instincts to win. When you play Robert, you'll end up spamming Anja B all day. Its startup is excellent, and its hurtbox gets smaller too. So with Q's light red kick, you can break through and hit low at once. I showed that if you just sit there, you'll get hit. When opponents keep poking from afar, it gets annoying, so using red kick like this helps you gain an advantage easily. If you use Grooze to input Senpungak, it can be used after the starter. The hurtbox is so small that it easily dodges even trashy real attacks. Even Yori's Yagami Lily, which hits 10 times, can be countered by crouching and using B. Yori will like it too. It's a crouching C in the form of an uppercut. While most characters' uppers are insanely good, Robert's upper is too weak in terms of hitbox to serve as an anti-air. If you want to live longer, you should give up on the idea of using this as an anti-air. However, crouching C has a fast startup and a wide hitbox, so it's good in the corner. If you mix it with special moves, your opponent will hate it. The startup is a bit slow, but its reach and hitbox are on par with Yashiro's crouching D. The hitbox is really good, and it's often used for attack cancels, especially when you cancel into a special move. To exaggerate a bit, you could even walk forward with this. You also need to practice timing so the special move activates in the middle. Jump A is actually a surprisingly good basic move, especially when you're trying to escape. It has a really good hitbox. For an easy example, even if Chris rushes in with jump C or D, you can easily cut him off just by using back jump A. Additionally, it's a defensive basic move that can even cover very low attacks. This is jump B, occasionally used for mind games. Does the startup frame match that of jump A? Since it has a fast startup and hits pretty low, it can also be used as a rising overhead. Additionally, because it can be cancelled, you can keep pressuring your opponent after the rising overhead. It's not that great as a rush move, but it can create a side guard. I won't stop you if you really want to use it, but pulling off a side guard is pretty tough. Robert's jump C is just as fast as the light jump normals in terms of startup frames. However, its hitbox isn't that great. Still, compared to jump D, it's much faster, so it's good for quick rushes and catching your opponent's timing. This is jump D, which has a crazy strong hitbox. It's like his shoe has a projectile attached to it. The attack hitbox is bigger than the shoe itself. The only downside is that its startup frames are on the slower side. The hitbox is so good that if you space it at the tip, it can beat out most normal anti-airs. I gave up on using normal anti-airs myself, but this move also forces your opponent to give up on theirs. It's just crazy. You can also break Goru's headbutt special with Robert's jump at max range. If Goru players are aiming for headbutts, just harass them with this. This is Dragon Spin Kick, mainly used for combos and usually serves as a combo linker. Unlike other characters' special moves, Dragon Spin Kick can be cancelled even if it hits on its own. However, using it by itself is too risky, so it's best to use it in the middle of a combo like this. The oddly hard to pronounce a special move, 9 Dragon Sensing Kick. Honestly, how well you use this special move determines Robert's destructive power. Of course, standing opponents will guard against it, but does the special move work on crouching opponents? This special move works solo, but is more often used as a cancel. For a pixel kill like this, you must land a finishing move. There are 2 ways to prevent this. One way is to do a crouching back attack cancel by holding down D and then inputting the special move. Another way is to use D with a down forward motion and then input the special move command. Just use whichever method feels more comfortable for you. It's also very effective for pressure after a wireless gunpowder cancel. If the special move connects in a combo, you can also cancel it. Even if you use it on its own, as long as you set it up well, it can lead into a combo. This is Robert's long-range Dragon Fist, which is often used for mind games. The frame advantage for holding the move changes depending on whether you use the light or heavy version. You get king, you get king, you get king, you get king. Yoga Ek King, Yoga Ek King. If you want to land a counter hit with the light dragon palm in the corner, you can follow up with a heavy dragon kick or Ushuna Tado. It's an ultimate move worth aiming for if you want to go for mind games, but actually getting a counter hit is pretty difficult. Sometimes it can even compete with the opponent's fast jump in rush, but you probably won't win most of the time. Yonghua, 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 but unfortunately it doesn't win in terms of frame advantage. If you use the light version, the hurt box becomes too straightforward, and if you use the heavy version, only about the head area loses its hurt box, so you can never win against jump attacks with good hitboxes using this move. At best, if you're lucky, you might just trade. And if you happen to hit an opponent on the ground with the heavy version, it only hits once, and then you just fly up alone. You can only get 2 hits on opponents who are in the air. If you're unsure about Whirlwind Barrier, use a low attack and end with a cinematic move. Honestly, I have no idea where you're supposed to use Dragon Spear Uppercut. It's not even as fast as a cinematic move, but the hitbox is ridiculously big. Honestly, this is a move that usually comes out by accident when you mess up. The hitbox is so bad that it's useless as an anti-air. Usually people use the robot for turning, so it's better not to use this move. This is a project that enjoys the 97 robot. This is the Flying Swallow Kick, which was a main move even for kids back in 98. Of course, compared to 97, it's a much weaker move now, but if you know how to use it, it's still a crazy good move. It's usually used as a bait, and even if the opponent guards, you don't take much damage. If it's not a fast, long-range normal move, you can't punish the delay. Even in the corner, if they guard until the last hit, even quick close-range moves like a jab get blocked. In a normal field, you don't even get the reach to punish the delay at all. If you make them guard 3 times in a row, the guard stun is so long that you can't punish even then. Even Benamaro with his fast startup can't punish the delay. You also lack the range to do so. If you use strong attacks, you could get your head cracked open. Senpungak also has a high guard crush value, making it beneficial for the opponent even if you block it. This is Dion Yong Shingak, the signature move of Ancient Angel Manizri in the 95 eras. It's one of the moves with insanely strong performance in the Korean version. It's usually used to cancel after a jump basic attack, right? The crazy thing about this is, even though it doesn't lead to a combo, it's pretty safe. The opponent who guards gets pushed back, and Robert also moves far back, so it's almost impossible to punish the delay. Plus, it's very effective against guard cancel attacks. If you succeed, it feels great, but the opponent who gets hit will feel really terrible. The really crazy thing is that there's absolutely no landing lag. There's no way to hit Robert when he comes down. I tried using Chris's sliding, which has a long active time, but Robert just guards it right away. Since there's no lag, if you see the sliding, you can just hit him with Yonghua, right? Yongsingak only gets punished for delay when he's in the air, right? If you use this carelessly in the corner, you could get punished, so avoid using it there. Robert's strike-based unblockable grab, Gukanyu, and Yanmagak. It creates a three-way mix-up with low, mid, and grab options. You can even follow up with extra hits, so it's a move you absolutely can't leave out. Sometimes you can mess with your opponent by intentionally hitting them with just one jump attack. Of course, the most standard way to finish is with a special move in Yonghwa. You use strong Yonghwa, but since you sometimes play solo, this combo requires a bit of practice. Yongrak Yang also lets you use jump attacks to vary your offense. Only the person using this really knows the timing, so it's not easy to tell. Usually, it's easiest to use it with a quick jump C. You can also use it with standing A after getting hit, but the timing for jump C is pretty strict, so it's easy to make mistakes. If you win, you'll enjoy it, but your opponent may be cursing you. It's a valid attack since it doesn't exploit a bug, but people often overlook it. I sometimes question if going this far is needed. It's the mid-air Gale Kick, which is almost impossible to connect into a combo from basic moves. If you use it as a good chance, you end up defenseless like this. However, since its accumulated active time is surprisingly long, it can be a sweet move depending on the opponent's character. In Leona's case, if you use it to follow up with a special move, it can hit cleanly. For reference, the next version can also hit. A character we often encounter as an opponent. You can also catch Iori's Kyuka in a similar way. The crazy thing is that even if Iori doesn't slow down the tempo and fully announces Kyuka, it still activates. Of course, it also hits even if Kyuka is used as a light attack. It also catches Iori's Dream Eater, which is frequently used in the next version.